600th floor, please.
No such floor, kiddo.
I need an audience with Rick Riordan.
No appointment, no audience. Rick Riordan doesn't see anyone unannounced.
Oh, I think he'll make an exception.
Hi everybody, I'm Rick Riordan and welcome to the Empire State Building. Today we're on the 80th floor, which the mortals call the top floor. Demigods might know differently. For us, we know that the Empire State Building is the modern day entrance to Mount Olympus. But that being said, the building itself is pretty cool. Let me show you around, show you some of the cool stuff about the Empire State Building. You can see behind me, I mean, just the decorations alone are pretty incredible. But some of the facts about how this thing was built, it's kind of amazing. I think Hephaestus would be proud. Here you can see kind of how fast this thing got built. They started building the Empire State Building in April of 1930. They finished in March of 1931. That's the whole building in 11 months. Basically, these guys built the Empire State Building faster than I can write a book. I mean, that makes me feel like I really need to step up my game. At one point, they had over 3,000 workers, and they were building one story of the building a day. I don't know how many Cyclopses they had going on at the same time, but still, that's pretty impressive. The stuff that they used to make it was also pretty cool. This kind of shows you the scale of the building. You can see it's bigger than the Eiffel Tower, bigger than the Chrysler Building. This thing is over 1,200 feet tall. Now, the original Mount Olympus, true, it's like 9,500 feet tall, but the thing is, it's really hard to get good takeout food from Mount Olympus. It's kind of in the middle of nowhere. Downtown Manhattan, you don't have that problem. They even have a list of supplies that they used here. Over $1 million worth of marble went into the interior of the building because you can't make a Mount Olympus Greek-style place without a bunch of marble. And I like how they crossed out iron and they put bronze. Lots and lots, $250,000 in 1930s money of bronze. Was it celestial bronze? I'm not sure, but I'm pretty sure that had to be in there somewhere. Now, I don't know if you know about the top of the building. This is one of the coolest facts that I learned about the Empire State Building. There's this big mooring mast at the top, that big thing you see like King Kong climbing up in the movie. That mooring mast was originally designed to park blimps. The idea was your blimp would pull up to the tower and it would fasten at the top and you would just get off the blimp there and go down the building. They loved that idea. I think it's really cool, but turns out the wind up there is just way, way too strong, and they never were able to actually park a blimp. Mortal things, mortal vehicles, nah, it wouldn't work. However, I'm pretty sure the Argo 2, they could probably park up there no problem. In fact, that's a pretty good scene. I should have written that. Well, anyway, that's a little bit about the building. Some of you guys also want to know, how do I remember so much stuff about Greek mythology? I've always liked Greek mythology ever since I was a kid. I used to read it. I read The Lord of the Rings, which is based on Norse mythology. And when I was a teacher, I always used to teach mythology as well. It was always my students' favorite thing. However, I know some of you out there are hoping to stump me today. We got lots of questions from all over the world, people that want to see if I know certain details about Greek mythology. I haven't seen the questions yet, but to ask me, we have a special guest, Kira Parrott from School Library Journal. Thank you for being with us today.
Thank you, Rick. I am incredibly excited to be up here on Mount Olympus today with you. And so I understand that you know pretty much everything there is to know about Greek mythology.
Well, I don't know about everything. I know a lot, but I guess we'll find out pretty quick here.
We will. I have to say some of the questions that were submitted are truly challenging. So.
Okay, I'm warned.
And to those of you out there watching, if we choose your question and Rick can't answer it, then you will win a full set of the Heroes of Olympic books signed by Rick.
Wow, okay.
Ready to get going?
Yeah, let's do it.
All right, question 1 comes from Jennifer Sweat, the School Library Media Specialist at the Grace Snell Middle School in Loganville, Georgia.
Okay.
Question: Who was the nymph changed by Hera into a bear, and then Zeus changed her into the constellation Ursa Major?
Ah, the bear. Yeah, I know this because I finished writing it in Percy Jackson's Greek Gods. So I remember that story. The bear is Callisto.
That is correct.
Yes.
All right, question 2. This one's from Adrienne Turbeville, an educator at the SM School District in East Syracuse, New York.
Okay.
Her question is, when Zeus divided the earthly realms among the gods, who was left out to become the divine patron of roads? And she added a little hint for us. His statue became one of the 7 wonders of the world until it fell in an earthquake around 220 BCE.
You know what's funny is if you had asked me that question 2 weeks ago, I would have been stumped. But somebody asked me a couple of weeks that very question, and so I was curious, and I had to go back and make sure I knew what the statue was that used to be the Colossus of Rhodes. It fell down a long time ago, like you said, but it was amazing when it was up. So I now know that's Helios, the sun god, that was the statue at Rhodes.
That is correct. All right, want to keep going?
Yeah.
All right,
Come on.
doing good. The next question comes from Cynthia Sowards, an educator at the Sowards Homeschool in Hazelwood, Missouri. Her question is, what was the name of the sea serpent who was supposed to devour Andromeda for her parents' mistake?
The sea serpent had a name. I gotta say, I just have always called it the sea serpent. So if it had a name, I don't know it.
Ooh, Cynthia, I think you stumped Rick. The correct answer is Ketos.
Keto. Okay. Well, I have to qualify that now. Ketos means sea serpent in Greek, so that may be what they called him, like as his name. But that's like having a sea monster named Sea Monster. But okay, I think you did stump me on that one.
I think we're
I'll
gonna
give you
give that one to Cynthia.
Yeah.
All right, want to try again?
Yeah,
All right,
absolutely.
all
That was a great question.
That was very good. Our question 4 comes from Mindy Smith. She's an educator at the Ohio Summers Elementary School in Mogadore, Ohio.
Okay.
And her question is, who was the daughter of King Minos who helped Theseus to escape from the labyrinth?
Oh yeah, one of my favorite characters. I can't forget her. That's Ariadne.
That is correct.
Awesome.
All right, you're back on track.
Okay, I got this. No more free sets of books out there. No way, man.
All right, our 5th question comes from Nikki O'Sullivan, the librarian at the Hiroshima International School in Hiroshima, Japan.
Oh, cool.
Very neat. Her question is, Orpheus tried to rescue his wife from the underworld. What was her name?
Oh, Orpheus is my favorite hero of all time. I love that guy because he did everything because of his musical talent. That was his power. He wasn't strong, he wasn't necessarily brave, but he had the music. So I would be ashamed if I didn't know her name. It's Eurydice.
Excellent. That's correct. All right. Ready for the next question?
I can't see it, but it's long. I'm kind of worried here. Okay.
It's a
Go
long one.
ahead.
All
All right.
Try to do justice to it. This is from Donna Jo Austin, who is a teacher librarian at the Holy Innocents Episcopal School in the Curtis Library Media Center in Atlanta, Georgia. And Donna Jo says that being from Atlanta, she wanted to choose a question about Atalanta.
Okay.
Atalanta was a very desirable maiden who can hunt and fish and wrestle. She declared that she would marry the man who could win against her in a foot race. What did that man that finally beat her in the foot race use to throw at her in order to distract her from running?
Okay.
And
Oh, two-parter. Okay.
it's a 2-parter, and who gave it to him?
Okay. Yes, I just finished reading this story, so afraid I know this one too. That's golden apples that he threw at her feet to distract her, and they were given to him by the love goddess Aphrodite.
Ooh, good job.
Yes.
That is correct.
Okay, good.
And that was a hard one.
Yeah.
All right, ready for the next one?
Yeah, bring it on.
All right, this question comes from Carol Beaton, an educator at the Mueller Park Junior High in Bountiful, Utah. Her question is, who was the great warrior of the Trojan War who, when he was a child, was hidden in the court of King Skyros? He was dressed as a girl and kept among the king's daughters in order to avoid a prophecy that he would one day be killed in battle.
Yes, yeah, that's a part of the story that people don't often know, is that he was dressed up as a girl and raised kind of as a girl for a while, so he would be exempt from going to war. But that has to be the great hero Achilles.
That is right.
Awesome.
Excellent.
Man, good questions, guys. These are really nice.
Really good. All right. This one, I have to warn you,
Okay.
is a toughie.
Okay, I'm ready.
All right. And I believe this is our last question.
Ooh, okay.
And it comes from Amy Brabeck, teacher librarian at the Chugach Optional Elementary in Anchorage, Alaska.
Sweet.
Ready?
Yeah, go for it.
Name the 9 daughters of Zeus and Messamene, also known as the 9 muses
You
of
know-
Greek mythology.
I knew somebody was going to do that. They were going to be like, name all 25, blah, blah. Yeah, okay, all right. You got me on that. The 9 muses, you know, I should know them by now. I have to look them up every single time. No, I can't name all 9. I can probably name a few. I know that Thalia, who I named a character after, is the god, the muse of comedy. You've got Terpsichore, which is the goddess of dance. Past that, geez, I don't know, like a Lederhosen, the muse of tap dancing or something.
I don't know if that's right.
I don't know. After that, I get kind of lost.
Well, thankfully, I have it written here, so
Okay.
I can tell you and our audience. There's Calliope, who's the muse of heroic and epic poetry,
Of
and she's
course.
often shown holding a writing tablet.
Yeah, okay.
There's Clio, the muse of history, and she often holds a scroll.
Okay, yeah.
There's Arato, the muse of lyric and love poetry, and she's often playing a lyre. There is Euterpe, the muse of music or flutes, playing flutes. Melpomene, who's the muse of tragedy, and she's often showing that tragic mask with the frowning face.
Oh, right, okay.
There's Polymnia, the muse of sacred poetry or mimic art, and she often has a pensive look, like a thoughtful look, I assume. There's Terpsichore, who's, as you mentioned, the muse of dancing and also
Okay.
choral song. She likes to dance around, often holds a lyre. Thalia, who you mentioned, who's the muse of comedy, and she holds the happy face, comic mask. And there's Urania, the muse of astronomy, and she often holds a globe.
Okay, so you guys got that memorized now, right? 'Cause I don't.
So good job, Amy. You stumped Rick. Excellent.
You got me.
So now we do have one final bonus question. It's not technically a Greek mythology question, but I
Okay.
do think it's a toughie. Let's see if you can answer this one.
Okay.
This comes from Matt Lawson, who's an educator at the Seattle Hill Elementary in Everett, Washington.
Yeah.
He wants to know, how much does the hardback version of Percy Jackson's Greek gods weigh?
I thought you were going to say, how much does it cost? How much does it weigh? Oh, wow, okay. That is a big book. I know this because I had to go to this warehouse and sign 5,000 of them recently. I don't know exactly. I'm going to say it weighs a lot.
We'll accept that as a correct answer, but we do have the
Thank you.
actual poundage. We put it on a scale, and it does come in at a whopping 4 pounds.
4 pounds of mythological awesomeness.
That's
Wow.
exactly right. Yeah. Well, this was incredible, Rick. I am absolutely floored. Even though you were stumped twice, you have an encyclopedic knowledge of Greek mythology. I am incredibly impressed.
Yeah, thanks, Kira. That was fun. Great questions, everybody.
And now I hear that you're going to read to us a little bit from your new book, Blood of Olympus.
I am. I'm going to read a sneak peek from Blood of Olympus. But first, I want to make sure that everybody knows about this app that we have called the Demigods of Olympus. It is so cool. Basically, you can create your own demigod, you can find out who your godly parent is, and you can determine your own traits and your own heritage by playing through the stories on the app and making your own choices. We got some more information on that. Let me show you a look at the Demigods of Olympus. Rick Riordan's Demigods of Olympus is a brand new mobile app that gives you access to my entire collection of work. From Percy Jackson and the Olympians, to the Kane Chronicles, to the Heroes of Olympus, it serves as a beautifully designed digital ebook library. Of course, it's not all about the library. Demigods of Olympus includes an exclusive, customizable, original adventure where you control your story experience. This is a demigod choose your own adventure story, where you complete a demigod user profile to begin your quest. As you progress through the story, you'll use your demigod skills to make pivotal plot decisions for your character. This is your story. Awesome. All right, you guys ready for a little Blood of Olympus? Yes, this is the actual book in my hands. I cannot wait to share it with you. What I'm going to do now is read you a sneak peek that has never been shared before. This is from the point of view of Reyna, the praetor of New Rome. And here we go. Dive bombing a volcano was not on Reyna's bucket list. Her first view of southern Italy was from 5,000 feet in the air. To the west, along the crescent of the Gulf of Naples, the lights of sleeping cities glittered in the pre-dawn gloom. 1,000 feet below her, a half-mile wide caldera yawned at the top of a mountain, white steam pluming from the center. Reyna's disorientation took a moment to subside. Shadow travel left her groggy and nauseous, as if she'd been dragged from the cold waters of the Frigidarium into the sauna of a Roman bathhouse. Then she realized she was suspended in midair. Gravity took hold, and she began to fall. "Nico!" she yelled. "Pans, pipes!" cursed Gleason Hedge. "Wah!" Nico flailed, almost slipping out of Reyna's grip. She held tight and grabbed Coach Hedge by the shirt collar as he started to tumble away. If they got separated now, they were dead. They plummeted toward the volcano as their largest piece of luggage, the 40-foot-tall Athena Parthenos, trailed after them, leashed to a harness on Nico's back like a very ineffective parachute. "That's Vesuvius below us," Reyna shouted over the wind. "Nico, teleport us out of here!" His eyes were wild and unfocused. His dark feathery hair, whipped around his face like a raven shot out of the sky. "I can't, no strength." Coach Hedge bleated. "Newsflash, kid. Goats can't fly. Zap us out of here, or we're going to get flattened into an Athena Parthenos omelet." Reyna tried to think. She could accept death if she had to, but if the Athena Parthenos was destroyed, their quest would fail. Reyna could not accept that. "Nico, shadow travel," she ordered. "I'll lend you my strength." He stared at her blankly. "How? Do it." She tightened her grip on his hand. The torch and sword symbol of Bellona on her forearm grew painfully hot, as if it were being seared into her skin for the first time. Nico gasped. Color returned to his face. Just before they hit the volcano's steam plume, they slipped into shadows. And for the rest, you'll have to wait until October 7th when the book comes out, but I hope you enjoyed the sneak peek. It was great of you guys to join me today, but before I let you go, I do have one more little announcement. Some of you know that I have been working on a new mythology series featuring the Norse myths, Odin, Loki, Thor, and all of those guys. Today, for the very first time, I can announce the name of the series itself. And that series will be called Magnus Chase and the Gods of Asgard. And so, for the title of the first book, you'll have to wait until Blood of Olympus comes out. It will be printed in the back of Blood of Olympus, and I'll tell you a little bit more about it on my tour in October. Thank you guys very much for joining us. This webcast will be archived on the School Library Journal site if you want to view it later. And all of you have a great day. Watch out for monsters.